Welcome to Digital Toolbox. In this tutorial we're going to continue our Building 5 the architecture building model. We've imported our floor plans, these DWGs we had, and they're all in different layers. We've named those layers exactly what we want to call them. They're in their own different folders so we can turn each floor on and off. Now we'll get into some basic drafting procedures. So these AutoCAD lines, when they're imported, they're completely exploded. So every line you see is its own line. So when I select it, it's completely independent. None of these are closed curves, closed polylines. And with just these lines, I can't really extrude anything. I can't extrude a curve and create a solid out of it. So we're going to have to join these curves. So this outer wall right here is 8-foot concrete wall. Kind of defines the outside of this building. So we can tell where that is if we select this. If we select one of the curves under the properties palette, which you can find under in the command, the properties command, we'll take out this palette and you can see what layer it's in. So we'll go under the first floor under the site wall layer, and it's already selected here. So I can select these items, or I can select all the items in the layer, but I need to join them somehow. So I just want to join this one wall together. So I can do that by selecting all of these lines. If I hold down Shift while I make new selections, I can select them all, and then I'll join them once I've selected them all. Except you see here, there's not another green line here. So I'll deselect this and I'll have to draw on my own line. So I'll take the polyline tool, and from one side to the other, I'll just click and click, and then right click to end it. And it doesn't look like it's here because the blue line's covering it, but if you click on it, the selection menu will come up and ask you which one to select, so we can see that the green one is there. So we'll just select that one, and then holding down Shift, we can select the other ones, the rest of the lines on the wall. And if I hold down Shift and drag to the right, it only selects an object that's completely within your selection. But if you select to the left with the dotted line, it'll select anything that is touching your selection menu. So that way I've selected this entire line, all of the curves that are in this geometry, and then I'll just type in join into the command bar, and it says 6 curves joined into one closed curve. So when we deselect, we can select it again, and you see the entire thing highlights. We're going to need that to extrude this one wall. So now I can go into the perspective view. I'm in the top viewport right now. I can do Control Tab to toggle through them. Since these are all 2D drawings, in the front view you can see they're just lines. In the right view it's just another set of lines. And then in perspective you can see that they're very planar. So we'll select just that first floor plan and use the zoom selected bar, the tool, to get to this one floor plan. And then I'll select that same wall that I was doing and type in extrude. So extrude curve comes up first. That's what I want to do. So I'll click on enter, and it'll ask for a few different things. You can see right now I'm extruding it wherever I want, in that negative direction or above, and the snaps are still on. So I'm going to take the O snap off just for now, and I'll define we can define a bunch of different things. So we want to have cap selected, so we'll make sure that cap is there. If it's not, it'll say cap no, and then we'll just click on it and cap yes will be selected. We don't want to delete the input curve, but you can select that to delete that original curve that we had and then just be left with this wall or that solid. We can do both sides, and that'll do both sides. We won't use that right now. And direction, so we can toggle the direction. So the extrusion distance it'll ask for right here. we'll just type in 8 feet because our units are in feet now. Click OK, and that's it. So it extrudes it, and you can see that we have our wall here now. And then we also have that original curve sitting below it, as well as the poly surface. So we can shade this viewport and go up to shaded viewport, this button up here, and you can see it's an entire wall. So that's one methodology for joining these exploded curves and extruding them. Another way to do it would be to trace any one of these curves too. So we'll go back to the top viewport, and we could trace this column right here. So this column is a chamfered concrete column, and these are all individual lines. So we can find that it's under walls, the walls layer. So we'll select the walls layer, and I'll grab the polyline tool again, and I'll turn the O snap back on. So now it'll snap to these endpoints. If you type in midpoint, it'll also snap to the midpoint of the lines. We just need the endpoint right now. So I'll start up here, and I'll just trace over the lines that are already there. And in a few clicks, it's done. I've come back to where I started from, and then I can select the curves that used to be there, or this one curve, this polyline that I just created. So I'll select all those old ones and the new one. Now it's completely added all of those curves to the selection. I'll hold down Control to deselect one, and the polyline was deselected, and this one curve was deselected. So if I hold down Shift again, I can select either that one exploded curve or the entire polyline. I'll just do the curve, and then I can delete all of these curves except for that closed polyline. So I'll just delete those, and you can't really tell because now I have my closed polyline. And then I can back out of this, zoom out a little bit, maybe toggle back to the perspective, and now that this one column is its own closed polyline, I can do extrude curve, and I can extrude a certain distance, let's say 20 feet for right now, and that's it. That column has been extruded to 20 feet. So those are two different ways of going about this, with joining the curves and then tracing over them and then extruding those curves. So that'll be it for this tutorial. Join us for the next one, and we'll finish building out the rest of this floor.